Hey there guys, and welcome back to episode 5 of the Perfect Ultimate Ironman Skiller series. Following on from the previous episode, we still have a couple of speedruns to finish up, but also managed to knock out a vast majority of our challenge mode chambers along the way. And getting stuck right into it, we have Demon Slayer, one of the most annoying of the lot. Demon Slayer did end up taking a few attempts, as the actual route itself is fairly clinical and easy to follow. The only issue is the RNG that comes towards the end of the quest. Other than some dialogue patterns that you need to follow, the route relies on you to hit the 7 with the Dark Light to one-hit Agrithnar before getting hit by a mage. One tip that I will give you all in hindsight is to just run through every quest once. Add a tile marker next to the specific NPC to then right-click and add the dialogue steps, for example 1, 1, 2, 4, and so on and so forth. This will ensure you hit the correct dialogues without losing any game ticks and minimizing the time lost per run. Especially if you're doing all of these back to back, your mind will tend to get a little bit jumbled, so I do recommend it. Skipping over to the specifics of the quest, following the first key, we'll run down to the sewers, pick up the rusty key, and teleport directly to Clan Wars. With the relatively new shortcut from Clan Wars to Soul Wars, we can leave the portal and end up in Edgeville. This will get us reasonably close to the Edgeville dungeon, where we'll be hopping around for our 25 bones. As you can see, the speedrun worlds are scattered around the list, so ordering them by minigame, you can scroll to the top and follow the list a wee bit easier. After picking up the bones, you'll then teleport home to run to Draenor to then grab a chronicle before heading to the Wizard's Tower. Once in a conversation with Trayborn, you can skip a few pages of dialogue by getting ready to teleport while the Woodrobe animation is active, with your teleport cue being the key showing up in your chat box. That again goes for the Silverlight. With the extra chronicle charge we have, teleport once you see the sword in your hand. Before the cutscene, set up your quick prayers and activate them from the south to get the optimal position away from the wizards, giving you a 1-tick clearance to attack Agrithnar. Fortunately for us, we did actually manage to hit the 7, but I would say this is a reasonably rare occurrence. If you don't manage to hit the 7 and get PJ'd by the wizards, run south to leave the cutscene and enter back in behind the pillars. You'll have 2 to 3 attempts at this before you have to restart for the platinum time, the least sweatiest way possible. With the speedruns complete, we can finally clear up the inventory in preparation for some actual Winter Todd and other bits and bobs. The camo outfit has served us well over the past couple of weeks, but we are going to have to discard it just for a little while. And now we've finally achieved the construction level to store our Graceful, we can actually turn our tokens into 2 sets of Graceful, freeing up an inventory slot. Combined with the tier 3 Adventurer's outfit, we can both store a set of this clothing and also combine it with our Graceful, making for some nice aesthetics to run around it. This will also become the set we'll primarily use throughout the series, seeing that we don't actually want the Pyromancer's outfit for Winter Todd, so we can maximize the construction XP gained from within. Having the new Graceful set and a seemingly empty inventory, we can now actually do a variety of different activities quite easily, and we'll make full use of that, seeing the UIM game mode usually hardlocks you to whatever you're doing. Starting off with a bit of Guardians of the Rift, we'll stick around until we get enough pearls for the Ring of the Elements. We need 4 pieces of warm clothing for Winter Todd, excluding the Pyromancer set, and fortunately for the fire element, the ring actually counts as a warm item. The Ring of the Elements is also the actual best in slot ring for the build, unlocking so many methods and modes of transport that you'll see here in the future. I do believe it was a later tweak to the rewards from Guardians of the Rift, but they also dropped the pouches at a super common rate, which is huge for skillers, as you'd otherwise have to spawn manipulate for them. Some of these rewards would also give us some items that we'll store away in the stash units for clue scrolls later on in the future, and also will help us complete some of the diary steps within. Though we finish off most of the CMKC last episode, we still have a wee bit to go to finish off the big 100 milestone. Fortunately for us, we have the help from the lads over at the Ironman Gear Discord. The Ironman Gear Discord offers a variety of community-driven iron resources, guides, and setups, while also providing Jagex-compliant boosting. These guys are accommodating to all different time zones and are more than happy to boost you through a number of different activities. So if you're interested, I'll leave the link to their Discord in the description. They're also running a 50% giveaway for their mega scale raids, so don't forget to get amongst some of that. Getting right back to the topic at hand, most of these raids were done through the European time zone, so it was really late at night for me. I guess it's just unfortunate that I practically live in an alien time zone, so we never actually have what you would call a peak hour. Though in hindsight this isn't actually too bad because I could literally sit in bed on Remote Chrome desktop and just run through these raids through the night until I passed out. In between the raids, I was primarily focused on working towards the Ring of the Elements. And as a level 3, repairing our pouches isn't a thing until we obtain the Abyssal Lantern. So to counteract this, we can actually drop the broken pouches when searching the rewards golem to replenish them. Unfortunately, one downside to this is that it does take away from a potential loot, but it'll always outweigh the loss with the extra points received per game. Through our construction upgrades, there are a few things that we can actually turn our points into storable items, such like the halos from LMS, which I will be working towards completing every set while going for 1,000 wins. I thought I'd also take the time to pick up the rewards from our medium combat achievement diary. We did actually finish this last episode though, I just never got around to actually picking up the reward. I'm not too sure if I showcased this in the previous episode or one of the previous episodes, but the Combat Achievement Diary also gives us access to Trollheim, unlocking a bunch of music tracks and some new unfamiliar areas. We also tried to greenlog the Troll Stronghold quest by starting the quest at the Fight with Dad, which can actually be done, though the dialogue doesn't continue during the conversation with Denolf, making it not possible. Through the many long nights of CMKC, we also accumulated a lot of loot, though we had no reasonable shop to sell the runes in, so we settled with Martin Thwaite's shop. This shop buys items at elk value, so you do get a wee bit more bang for your buck here, making it one of the more optimal shops for GP until the completion of the feud. We also got plenty of noted dynamite and ores for XP later on in the future, which can be bagged with the rest of the Wintertodt loot in tandem. And finally, after weeks of organising teams, we've managed to reach the goal of 100 KC. And yes, I didn't need to do this at all, but I thought it would be a nice milestone to achieve a cape on a level 3. And I do believe this is also just one of a handful of accounts with the CM raid cape at level 3. And if you want me to go even further, I can organise to do so. Just show me your support in the comments. With the Chamber's combat achievements out of the way, we can go back to focusing on the Ring of the Elements, and fortunately enough for us, we had a clear enough inventory to knock out most of it between KC. From what I believe, it does seem that small teams are much more effective for point-specific goals such as the ring, but getting individuals together to play this minigame is slim to none. Regardless, I did actually quite enjoy this grind, and it also gave me a bit of downtime to enjoy some shows on the side, being AFK enough to play on the minigame specific worlds. With the 400 pearls acquired, we can now purchase the ring, which will remain the best in slot ring for the rest of the series, and I can't wait to show you all the further uses of it. Before the completion of the feud, the primary location for lore runes are from Lundale up in the Mage Bank, and we're going to need a lot of them. Charging the Ring of the Elements costs all 4 elemental runes and 1 lore rune per charge, giving you access to all the elemental altars, greatly increasing our transportation. Before getting stuck back into Wintertodt, I had this urge to utilize the last Ring of Recoil in the inventory and devised a plan to work towards the Crack the Clue outfit. This clue, though absurd, can be achieved on a level 3 UIM, and I thought to myself, why not go for one of the harder items from a beginner clue, being the Amulet of Defense. Now, these can only otherwise be attained for our specific account by killing undead druids, so possible, but it would take ages. Unfortunately, while going for the clues, I had an alt to the side test if the trimmed amulet would work instead, though because the item ID is completely different, we're going to have to leave this goal till a lot later. For now, our goal has shifted towards the completion of Below Ice Mountain. This would open up the ruins of Kamzadal, where we can test our luck on the Imkando Hammer, a wieldable hammer slot which can be used for both Mahogany Homes and Wintertodt, while also being storable and saving 1 inventory slot in the process. The quest boss fight is fairly easy and can be done with or without combat. In our case, we can just mine the pillars to get rid of the golem, completing the quest. Mining the baronite ore veins gives you both baronite deposit and a random quantity of shards that can be used at the shop for certain upgrades and perks around the mine. By using the deposit on the anvil, you have a roll at some more shards, but also some uniques such as the ancient relics that can be turned into the museum for extra kudos. These deposits also have the rare drop of the Incanto hammer at the rate of 1 in 350, so I think I'll be here for a reasonable length of time. Fortunately for us, the shard exchange offers a number of perks, which I'd recommend purchasing the mining buff first, following with the luck to increase the chance of rare drops. We certainly got super lucky with the hammer this time, completing the grind in just 2 hours. I've done this before and it's taken me over a week, so I'm very thankful for that. We won't actually be needing the hammer as of yet, seeing we'll be using the Bruma torch as a warm item and a tinderbox, so it'll be safely stored away until we need it for mahogany homes. And now we've managed to gain some more storage from both construction and the introduction of forestry, it's time to reorder the bag for the upcoming grinds. We had previously been storing all our logs within the bag, though along with forestry came a quality of life update for UIMs, where we can store our logs at the forester for future rewards. We also had a few clue items and teak seeds that we could now both store and get rid of for future use. And now the inventory is primarily cleaned up, all we need to focus on is Shiloh Village and the partial completion of one small favour for Guthix Restores. Another quick recommendation that I have mentioned before is to utilise the custom menu entry swapper to get rid of the bury option on any item pertaining to the word bone, which will even help in this circumstance. We've also picked up our Dragon Candle Dagger from Diango for the spec to reduce the risk of damage to absolute 0, and hopefully we'll only need to use this just for a little while longer. Jagex has also announced that they will be making fun weapons to -100 bonus as a quality of life update for skillers and other accounts that don't want specific combat experience. This is probably one of the most advantageous updates soon to come to the game that'll greatly increase the enjoyment of these types of accounts, fully unlocking Optimized Slayer for us in the future. With the help of one of the boys, I managed to navigate over the White Wolf Mountain to speak with Captain Bleemage, unlocking the recipe for Guthix Restores and finishing up one of the annoying parts of the quest for later. This likely isn't any optimized route for making these, but I just threw it together to make some space in the inventory, and we also don't have too many to get through either. Once an inventory was complete, I'd teleport with the Chronicle and run up to Bob Barter to decant the restores into noted single doses. This would end up turning 3 inventory slots into 1, which was also storable within the looting bag. Now, don't think I forgot about the Ring of Recoil plaguing the inventory. Part of destroying the looting bag was to retrieve the Amulet of Power for the bonus to kill a zombie. This would end up knocking out a Lumbridge Easy Diary task, giving me a reason to destroy the rest of the remaining ring. Now that the inventory has been cleared and we have all said warm items, it's time to get fully stuck into the Wintertodt grind. Surprisingly, there actually are some combat achievements that we have to sort out here too, but we'll keep that for the next episode. Until then, for those of you who have made it this far into the video, I thank you specifically. You are the lovely individuals that keep me doing what I do best, and if you want to see more, make sure to leave a like and a cheeky comment, it really does help. Also, I am about to head away to the USA for a get-together with a bunch of the lads, so while I'm gone, to keep up with the content, I was thinking of uploading the Clips channel content to the main channel as shorts. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. This is something that I'd specifically like your feedback on. And like always, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and have a wonderful day.